Ethics is about knowing right from wrong. And John of Salisbury was a thinker who had a lot to say about it. He lived a long time ago in England and spent his life thinking, writing, and working for good causes. In this report, we'll learn about who John was, what he believed, and why it still matters today. Let's explore his ideas and how they can help us understand how to be a good people. I am Evergy Hapos, and let's go deeper into John's life, works, values or virtues, morality, principles, and ethics.
John of Salisbury would surely have been an eccentric figure by today's standards. He could be described as a poet, moralist, political thinker, a speculative philosopher, or indeed a combination of all these things at once. He has been described as the finest flower of the 20th century Renaissance, and was one of the most learned men in the Middle Ages. He also known an English churchman and diplomat. Let's talk about the life of John. John was born into a non-noble family around 1120 AD in the town of Salisbury in England. So when we say non-noble family, kung sa Pilipinas pa mo aning mga pamilyang dili pud ingon pobre, dili pud ingon dato. So after 1136 AD, they travel si John padung France para miskwela sa University of Paris. So following this, John focused on theology at Chartres. During his university years, John studied under the hard-hitting intellectuals of his era, including William of Conches, Peter of Abelard, and most importantly, Bernard of Chartres. So Bernard inspired John's love of classical writers who shaped heavily the development of his philosophical writings. So, thanks to his rigorous education and enduring enthusiasm for scholarship, John quickly rose up the ranks of the church hierarchy. Later, John became a controversial figure as a result both of his scathing criticism of the royal court as well as his opposition to the king's imposition of taxes upon the church. So King Henry II wished to wage yet another war on France. So in order to raise the necessary funds, he deemed it necessary to create new taxes which largely fell disproportionately upon the church. So John was an ardent defender of the church's traditional liberties and thus opposed Henry's target measures. In 1170, when both John and Thomas Becket had returned to England, Thomas was attacked and murdered in his cathedral. He died a martyr and was immediately venerated as such by the people. So John continued to serve faithfully the successors of Thomas as well, until he was appointed Bishop of Chartres, where he lived from 1176 until 1180, the year of his death. Next is the works and writings of John. John created two important books that people remember and respect him for. So the first is the Metallogicon and the Polycraticos. So let's talk about the Metallogicon. So this book talks about the subjects that students learn in school and why it's important to study them. So it defends the idea of studying things like grammar, logic, and rhetoric, which together are called the trivium, as part of a well-rounded education. So the second one is the Polycraticos. So this book is about ideas related to how societies should be run both morally and politically. So it's influenced by the thinking of the ancient Roman philosopher Cicero and takes a balanced approach to questioning things. So it uses examples from different sources like the Bible, writings from early Christian thinkers, also called the patristic, and ancient Greek and Roman writings, also called classical, to make its points. Let's move on to the virtues and values of John. John said that being truly good or virtuous requires freedom. So without freedom, people can't fully achieve goodness. If someone isn't free to make their own choices, they can't reach their highest level of goodness. So, having freedom is really important for being the best person you can be. So, John believed that when people are free to make their own decisions, they have the best chance to become truly virtuous and good-hearted. Next is Principles of John. John of Salisbury believed that people are really special and so it's nature. He thought that we can understand and appreciate this specialness by using our ability to think and understand things. For him, it's important to treat people and nature with respect because they're valuable and worthy of care. He saw human dignity and the beauty of nature as things that everyone can understand and appreciate if they take the time to think about them. So he encouraged people to use their minds to understand and value these important aspects of life. The third one is morality of John. John of Salisbury's views on morality revolved around the fundamental concept of individual freedom as a cornerstone for moral excellence and societal harmony. He firmly believed that the ability to freely choose one's action is essential for cultivating virtuous behavior and fostering ethical conduct. So, John's morality wasn't merely about following rules or adhering to societal norms. It was about cultivating a sense of personal responsibility and integrity through the exercise of individual liberty. He believed that a society built on principles of freedom and ethical autonomy would naturally promote justice, compassion, and mutual respect among its members, ultimately leading to a more harmonious and flourishing community. The last one is Ethics of John. John of Salisbury believed that the most important thing in ethics is making sure everyone benefits and society stays peaceful. He thought that the best way to do this is by having fair rules and laws that apply to everyone equally. His ethical ideas focus on encouraging people to act with kindness, honesty, and respect for others. He believed that when individuals behave virtuously and have strong personal values, it helps create a better world for everyone. So, his ethics were all about promoting goodness, honesty, and fairness in both individuals and society as a whole. And learning about John of Salisbury's life, works, and ethical principles, we see that what he thought is still important today. John said, "The only sure road to truth is humility." This means that it's good to be humble, to not think we know everything. When we're open to learning from others and admit when we're wrong, we can find the truth. And John also talked about being kind, honest, and fair. These are important for making the world a better place. So let's remember John's teaching as we move forward, and let's be humble and do what's right. Thank you for listening and have a great day.